Hello everyone, Dan 14th Prime here. I want to do a video share out today with you guys on the Hot Toys Star Wars Remnant Stormtrooper. This guy is as seen in the Disney Plus Mandalorian TV series. Really fun TV show and a great expansion to the Star Wars universe. But me being more of a classic Star Wars guy, this is the only one of those Mandalorian TV show figures that I've ordered thus far. And I basically picked him up because he's a very cool, battle damaged, worn out Stormtrooper that I think will still work and be a lot of fun in a more classic original trilogy collection and display. Now, if you're new to the channel and you like Hot Toys, statues, other premium collectibles, please subscribe. I've always got new cool stuff to share that's landing in the Primepire. And if you're interested in picking up a Remnant Stormtrooper or really any Hot Toys, statue, or other collectibles, check the links down in the description below. I've got links to Sideshow, Amazon, eBay, and really any shopping you do throws links below. Just supports the channel at no cost to you. So thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. So let's take a look here closer at our Remnant Stormtrooper here. Just quickly, the overall pack out. Of course, the figure, a pretty typical stand there. You get actually two guns with this figure, almost like a speeder bike-ish looking gun. It's not quite, but it sort of looks like one of those, as well as something that looks like more of a traditional Stormtrooper blaster, but still a little bit different, as well as an assortment of hands. As for the figure overall, pretty typical, very recognizable Stormtrooper design, some nuanced differences, at least versus the latest Return of the Jedi piece that I'll compare to. We'll go in closer, but hopefully you're picking up at least a little bit from the distance, just a lot of battle damage, wear, dirt, detailed across the suit. Around the back of the figure here, you'll notice no gun sheath, for example, that we had with Return of the Jedi, a place where he could store his rifle. That's not on this figure. But let's just jump in on the top half of the figure. I will say it comes off to me looking a bit bobbleheadish. It's just something with the neck. You'll see when we compare to Return of the Jedi, he's got a bit of a longer neck, and I think it has the effect, and also some of the details on the helmet seem to make it appear bigger, so he sort of has this bobblehead kind of look to me. You can manage it with poses, but I definitely noticed that out of the box. And I'll just get you in a bit closer here on the helmet. You can see all of these nicks and all of this dirt that they've patterned in through there. Still has sort of a green lens, but it's definitely much darker and more black than what we saw on prior Return of the Jedi release. You can see all the typical kind of Stormtrooper detailings and things like this that you'd expect to see on the helmet. Again, just all worn and nicked up. So I think it does look pretty good, probably a bit better from a distance, quite frankly. I think some of the weathering's just okay up close, but then when you step back, it's perfectly fine. You can see the dirt they wear through there, the shoulders, the chest, all across this otherwise, pretty nice, clean Stormtrooper getup. And just all of the wear and detailing down the legs, just letting you kind of check it out. If you saw the TV show, I think, they did a pretty nice job here in terms of what that looked like and, what it meant. Just, post-Empire, just sort of the remnants of the Empire sort of holding on and trying to continue on with their lives. So, pretty nice job. And again, for me, I think you never have too many troopers, and it'll make for a nice battle damage stand-in. So a bit of quick comparison here. Again, Return of the Jedi Stormtrooper on the right. I don't have some of the past troopers to say how he's compared to some of the other releases, so this is the comparison I can do. As I mentioned, the heads, just the shape of them, the pattern comes off looking a bit different. I mean, the Remnant Trooper just sort of looks like flatter, a little wider, and definitely a lot of the accents and details are larger. Not only here, but even, some of the accents, the rectangular square pieces, highlights, whatever, around the sides and back of the helmet, they're larger on the Remnant Trooper as well. I feel like the armor of the Remnant Trooper just has sort of a more slendering sort of look to it. The armor comes in tighter through here, whereas here it has a lip, for example. I also feel like the way the belt fits lower and the way the ab section is just, again, sort of has like a narrowing type look to it. Some of these details, like these accents on the side of the arm, definitely new and different from the prior Stormtrooper. And the lower half of the body, because of the way that belt sits, the way this ab section is a little bit different, It sits lower. These, whatever, rectangular pieces, they hang a little bit over the thigh armor. Again, slightly redesigned, slightly different, just little nuanced differences. Definitely still Stormtrooper, but not one for one relative to at least the Return of the Jedi Trooper, but, might be consistent with some of the prior troopers that they've done. I don't have any of those anymore. I used to have like the Luke or the Han Solo, some of those, but no more. And definitely different feet on these figures. Back of the figures here, and you can even see just like the neck, there's much more neck room. The helmet sits lower. I like how the helmet sits lower on Return of the Jedi. Otherwise, I like a lot of things about this armor, but I don't like this sort of bigger bobblehead, lanky neck kind of look. You can see the back there, just really pops. Some of this nice weathering and shading, I think even this figure could benefit from, because it can look a little plain, a little toy almost. Even less like a very modest level of shading really helps some of those details come out and look more realistic. I like to see a trooper like that, but without all of the heavy weathering, but at least some paint that kind of accents the molding would be nice. Just slight differences, and again, how all of these little armored pieces are done and put together, etc. Again, here you have the blaster holster, which I had mentioned before. Here on the profile as well, you have open plastic gap right there that just exposes the undersuit. Here they actually have a black connecting piece of plastic in between the front and back of the armor on the Remnant Trooper. Here we have one of the blasters, the one that reminds me of like speeder bike-esque, but definitely not, still way too big for that. But frankly, it's been too long since I've played Battlefront to know all the names of these guns. But it's cool, it's a pistol, it's got a scope on it, some nice paint, weathering wear. Just a molded piece of plastic, no articulation or moving pieces on it at all. Then we get the more traditional Stormtrooper blaster, but if you know what that looks like, you're still recognizing this as a bit different than that. Sort of kind of recognizable through the barrel, but definitely a lot of shape differences, scope differences, things like that. So you've got the clip kind of coming out the side, a scope thing over here. I don't know what this would be. Almost looks like another scope on the side. Kind of strange. Similar gunmetal paint, with some weathering, looks nice. It's got this stock you can kind of flip back and have a butt of the gun. Articulates like that. And if helpful to compare, up here you've got your more traditional Stormtrooper blaster from the Return of the Jedi figure again versus this one. You can definitely see the differences if you didn't notice before. Now you see a bit more what those look like. Now the figure also comes with an assortment of hands. A lot of white on the table right here, right now. But you get these pretty much your stock fist type look. So pair of fists, and you can see again nice mix up of weathering. They're not exactly the same. One's got a little more dirt and brown. You get a pair of these. One is on the figure, but this is just trigger hand if you'd like him to be right or left-handed. As is always the case with the trooper, you can do that. And a pair of these as well. Again, one is on the figure, but this is just sort of a soft gripping hand. Often what is resting, you're resting the barrel of the gun in one of these, opposite the trigger finger. And then finally he gets one left, sort of stop looking hand. I think we've seen these before as well. So pretty typical hand pack out. And then you get this base Star Wars Remnant Stormtrooper plate. Pretty recognizable Star Wars base. It's Death Star-esque, let's say, but definitely a bit different. And your typical adjustable kind of crotch grabber pole. Just very quickly with articulation with this guy, it's nothing too special to call out. I think you'll get most of what you want or what you'd expect or would be familiar with from the Trooper. There's his head movements, right? He's got this big lanky neck, like I mentioned. Again, there's the one thing I don't like with the longer neck. If you're underneath this figure from a viewing perspective, or you start to put the head back, you can start to see that hollowness open up under there. That's what I don't like, aside from just kind of what can be a bobblehead sort of look if you're not really managing the pose. But the head articulation's fine overall. Shoulders, again, you'll work through some of this plastic stuff that's all just kind of strapped on, but you can get up about like that. You can get it forward. This undersuit wants to kind of pull back and stuff like that, so you're kind of fighting that. There's some things you can do with the shoulder joint. I will say I found it, there you go, you can get it even higher. I've just sort of managed what's in that shoulder joint. I found it a bit hard to get his arms to his side when I was playing with the shoulder joint originally. but you just have to kind of play with it. Like I said, it moves a bit funky in there. You just gotta kind of play it around, some butterfly and stuff in there. The elbow is just a single joint for 90 degrees. It gets you by. It'd be nice to have more, but the way the armor comes together, I don't think they could really do it anyway. The hand stuff is typical on the peg and hinge that we always get with Hot Toys. In terms of the torso here, it's really kind of tight. I mean, you get some twist at the bottom and at the torso. So to be able to get them to twist, you can see use a little bit of both to make that happen. I feel like you get a bit more at the torso, actually. Can't really crunch much because these things overlap right there. Same thing with going back. I mean, there's not a lot there. 5 or 10 degrees either way, probably. Down in his legs. I mean, kind of like that on the split side of things. Not a ton kicking out either. It's just playing with that, but all this stuff up here just seems to get in the way. And the knee as well. You can work around that armor. Get a little bit better. 90-degree type knee. So, okay, but nothing too amazing. And there's probably, just a bit of sort of twist up there in the thigh and usual stuff there at the foot, kind of ball joint. So that's all pretty good. There you have it, guys. Remnant Stormtrooper from the Mandalorian TV series. No surprises, really. Pretty much what you would expect from a trooper. A little different design from the Return of the Jedi prior release, but nothing wildly different that you even notice unless they're exactly side by side. A decent battle damage and sort of wear effect. So again, whether you're collecting Mandalorian or whether you're just doing Star Wars overall or classic Star Wars, a guy like this can play a number of different positions in your collection. And though a bit more than a prior standalone Stormtrooper release, I think he's like 205. We would have saw Return of the Jedi standalone for like 190. You do get the extra gun in the battle damage paint deco. So I think a fair enough value and still affordable enough. If you want a couple of the figures, you can do that. So yeah, happy I picked the guy up. Again, links down in the description below. Sideshow, Amazon, eBay. Any shop need either of those links down below. Just supports the channel at no cost to you. So thanks again for that. I do appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe for more cool collectibles coming to the Prime Pyre. And please like and comment. Helps the video and channel out very much. Thanks for that. Alright guys, thanks for checking out this Hot Toys Star Wars Remnant Stormtrooper video share out. I'll see you next time.